Have you ever heard of how our group started? The stories of Spartans who fought a great fight. It all happened here, on Reach. Reach. A planet among no others. There are many stories of the fall of Reach, but this is the story of a Spartan team known as Delta Zero Squad, essentially the bad company of Spartans. To start off the story, it's best to go back to the beginning. The oldest known Spartan on the team, Chris. Chris was the team's grenadier, a good friend of Fetter's. Chris was a great suppressor, and in a way kept the spirit of the team in the fight. Until his untimely death on the battlefield, Delta would not be active for months after the event. Then, they got a new Spartan. Butters was an assault Spartan who trained some time on his own. When he got the call to join the team, he would have to go through immense training as a soldier of war. Reach was new to Butters, and the invading Covenant didn't make it much better. Before Reach, Butters studied in a vast arrangement of holograms and combat tactics. This would prove to be one of his greatest strengths. Until having to replace a fallen Spartan. Butters, after months of training, took on the role of Delta 3. O'Malley, Spartan 326, Delta 5, otherwise known as James. James, an excellent Falcon pilot, a gunner and troop transporter for a few years, until his Falcon crash of May. James lost his arm in that crash and never flew a Falcon again. In his recovery, he became part of the UNSC military police, and soon got back up to speed with Delta. But it was clear to everyone now, the Covenant had invaded Reach. After losing his arm, James got into medical research, to help with others wounded in battle, and was a great help in the fight against the Covenant. He even helped Noble Team, and later came up with the phrase, "I can't heal that," after Cat's death. James would eventually leave the city he once protected, and join Delta. Haven, Spartan 389. Delta 6, otherwise known as Brad. Mongoose driver and jetpack extraordinaire, Brad, originally was a part of an ODST group. But a time would come when this Spartan would have to join up with Delta to fight for Reach. Brad was also a good gunner and was called in to assist James on an evac op as his first task on Delta. Spartan 389 was a basic soldier who spent most of the fight on the front lines, and that's exactly where the team needed him. Together, Brad and Butters made up the assault force for Delta in the war on Reach. However, Brad, much like the other Spartans, would not be the first off of it. Lina, Spartan 328, Delta 4. Lina the Gus Hog Pro. To us, he's known as Chad. When Chad got the call to defend Reach, he gladly accepted to blow up a few Corvettes along the way. Chad was, well, Chad, a covey-killing mastermind, a specialist in weaponry and explosives. But he knew more than how to kill a few split jaws. He knew how to take down a hunter. Chad's vast knowledge of weaponry gave him his edge, or so he thought. He was gifted with unimaginable smarts and served as a field scientist for some time before becoming a Spartan. His research of the Covenant later resulted in more effective weapons and understanding their weaponry as well. Overall, his test as a Spartan would be faced at Reach. Spartan 328 would take over the Covenant's weaponry and use it against them. He put the word bad in ass, and he was also my childhood friend.
I'm just my life,
Fetter, Spartan 323, Delta 1. Well, What is there to say about Fetters? He made it off Harvest. He was leader of the Delta Resistance along with Chris. Later, he took to solo missions until he was selected to lead a Spartan team. However, with his skill set, he wouldn't be the best leader. What were his skills exactly? Spartan 323 was an excellent marksman, with years of ODST sniper training. But what made him so good? It was his ability to blend with the environment to get the perfect shot. He scrambled enemy radar, which sure helps in a firefight against the Covenant. Fetters isn't just a sniper, he's a brute assassin. As with every Spartan, Fetter's skills would face the greatest challenge on reach. And he's seen more than the average soldier. He's been behind enemy lines, and he knows where to hit them.
Stuff is about to get real loud around here.
And then, there's me. Freeman, Spartan 327. Recon, and the team's leader. How am I, Delta 2, but the team's leader? Well, we never really knew. It just kinda happened. No one likes to brag about themselves, but this is what the rest of the team views me as. My skills as a recon trooper weren't always the best. Sure, I could get a distance and spot for Fetters, but I was really an all-purpose Spartan. You couldn't ask for anything more in a Spartan. My armor goes to show, I was a rogue with an act for adventure. When the Covenant invaded Reach, we were one of the first to know about it. As the fighting went on, my plans got my team in and out of the fire. Delta as a whole was a great Spartan team, but I alone had a larger Covenant kill count than any of them. Nothing could come between me and a shotgun. And the ability to lock armor and turn it into an EMP, close combat was not a problem. I was mostly the team's primary driver, quite a pilot too. Space fighting, however, one of my weaknesses. Was anyone really good at it? To make this explosion, I guess. I was even good with Covenant weaponry and any array of abilities you set me up with. I was always the lone wolf of our group, an elite Spartan who became a legend. Some even ranked me as a hero, but in the end, it wasn't enough. When Reach fell, I died, trying to protect my team from a pending doom. So how am I speaking to you now, you ask? Honestly, I'm not sure. I died on Reach, at least I think. But some say there's an afterlife. Some say we're just missing an action. Some say they're reopening the Spartan program.